same show, and they're beautiful and different because of all the different students in this class. Before we get going, I'm sure you all know by now, please turn off anything that beeps or communicates so that you can just really enjoy the show and let the actors fully invest into their roles. If you need the restrooms, they're down there. We have 2 intermissions, but before you worry about that too much, I just want to say the first one is a regular intermission, 15 minutes, and our dear 12th grade parents have provided concessions, and proceeds from the concession stand go toward the 12th grade trip. They are heading out on Monday to Costa Rica, and they're going to go and do service over there after having made this gift here for our community. So a 15 minutes interval after Act 1, and then we will have a very short 5-minute interval, which is really just stretch your legs. We don't want to waste too much time, but we have to do a set change. And then we anticipate that, well, I'm going to anticipate it, we'll just see how it goes. Very, very quickly, the 12th grade play, so this process is just a very, very special time in the life of the senior class. It comes after they've really completed so many different things in so many different aspects. They've done their college applications, they've completed senior projects that took them a year to do, they've been on internships, and of course they've completed all their various morning lesson blocks, art blocks, track blocks, movement, eurythmy. They've done everything, and all the experiences that they have done, both individually and together, really culminate in this block. And when we get together, we got together for the first time on March 31st, we literally had nothing but the people in the room, and what more can you need? Their creative minds, we talked about how they work together, and what they wanted to bring. And we went through this beautiful process of looking for the right script for this class. And very surprisingly to me, because I did not suggest it, but they couldn't have chosen like one of my more favorite plays. They chose The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. It was written in 1895. Oscar Wilde was at the height of his powers when this play was first published, and mere weeks later, his fortunes had reversed quite dramatically. But at this point, he was the darling of the London theatre scene. So they have acted in this, obviously. They have done costumes and set and tech and publicity, really working together so beautifully. We've had a lot of help too from you, different members of the community, alumni, parents who've come in to help us tie everything up. So many thanks to our community. But now I would like you to sit back and relax and join me and join us in London in 1895. Where things were oh so delicate, don't you know? Enjoy. I think you're going to be speaking with a little English accent when we're done. Please enjoy The Importance of Being Earnest.
Did you hear what I was playing there?
I don't think it's polite to listen, sir.
I'm sorry if that's for your sake. I'm playing accurately. Anyone can play accurately, but I've got a wonderful expression.
Yes,
As far as the piano is concerned, sentence is my forte. I say
sir.
science for life.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of the science of life, you ever cucumber sandwiches cut for Lady Breakfast? By the way, Elaine, I see from your book that on Thursday night Lord Sherman and Mr. Worthy were dining with me. 8 bottles of champagne having been entered as consumed.
Yes, sir. 8 bottles in a pint.
Why is it that in a bachelor's establishment the servants invariably vast daily information?
I attribute it to the superior quality of the wine, sir. And often reserved from American households, the champagne is rarely of a first-rate brand.
Good heavens! Is America so demoralizing as that?
I believe it is a very pleasant state, sir. Had very little experience of it myself up to the present. I've only been married once, and that was a consequence of a misunderstanding between myself and a young person.
I don't think that I just much care for your family like that.
No, sir, it is not very interesting. I never think of it myself.
Very naturally, I'm sure. That will do, Lane. Thank you. Lane's views on marriage seem somewhat lax. I mean, really, the law orange don't set a good example. What on earth is the use of them? They seem as if flowers have absolutely no sense of moral responsibility.
Mr. Ernest Slowly.
How are you, my dear Ernest? What brings you up to town?
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. What else should bring one anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Algy.
I believe it is customary in good society to take someone to refreshment at 5 o'clock. Where have you been since last Thursday?
In the country.
What on earth do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one amuses other people. It is excessively boring.
And who are these people you amuse?
Oh, neighbors, neighbors.
Got nice neighbors in your part of Shropshire?
Perfectly horrid. Never speak to one of them.
How on earth you must amuse them? By the way, Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Eh? Shropshire? Yes, of course. Hello? Why all these cups? Why cucumber sandwiches? Why such reckless sharpness in one so young? Who is coming to tea?
Oh, merely Aunt Augusta and Gwendolyn.
How perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well. But I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
My dear fellow, the way you flirt with Gwendolyn is perfectly disgraceful. It's almost as bad as the way that Gwendolyn flirts with you.
I have love with Gwendolyn. I have come to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you'd come up for pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are!
There is nothing romantic in proposing. It's very romantic to be in love, but there is nothing romantic in a definite proposal. Why, one may be accepted. One usually is, I believe. But then the acceptance is all over. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. If I were to get married, I should certainly try to forget the fact.
I have no doubt about that, dear Archie. The divorce court is specially invented for people whose minds are so curiously constituted.
Please don't put these percentages. They are ordered especially for Lady Grafton.
Well, you've been eating them all the time.
That's quite a different matter. She's my aunt. Have some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is devoted to bread and butter.
And very good bread and butter it is too.
Well, you need not eat it as if you're going to eat it all. You act as if you were married to her already. You are not married to her already. And I don't think you will ever be.
Why on earth do you say that?
In the first place, girls never marry the men they flirt with. Girls don't think right.
Oh, that is nonsense.
It isn't. It is the perfect truth that comes to the extraordinary number of blasphemers that one sees all over the place. In the second place, I would give my consent.
Your consent?
My dear fellow Gwendolyn is my first cousin, and before I allow you to marry her, you shall take care of the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What on earth do you mean? What do you mean, Algy, by Cecily? I don't know anyone with the name Cecily.
Bring me the cigarette case Mr. Worthing left in the smoking room the last time you down here.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you have had my private cigarette case all this time? I wish to goodness you would let me know. I have been writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I was very nearly offering a large reward.
Well, I wish you luck for one. I happen to be more than usually hard up.
There is no good offering a large reward, now that I think so.
Think it's rather mean of yours, I must say. However, it makes no matter. For now that I've looked at the inscription on the inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
Of course it's mine. You have seen me with it 100 times, and you have no rights whatsoever to read what is written inside. It is a very ungentlemanly thing to read a private cigarette case.
This isn't your cigarette case. And it is absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one should. shouldn't read.
I am quite aware of the fact. I don't propose to discuss modern culture. It isn't the sort of thing one should talk of in private. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but it isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone by the name of Cecily. And you have said you don't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, charming old lady she is too. Lives at Tunbridge Wells. Just give it back to me, Algie.
Yes, but why does she call herself Little Cecily if she's your aunt and lives at Tunbridge Wells? From Little Cecily with her fondest love.
My dear fellow, what on earth is there in that? Some aunts are tall. Some aunts are not tall. That is a matter that surely an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt. That is absurd. For heaven's sake, give me back my cigarette case.
Yes, but why does she call you her uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to her dear Uncle Jack. There's no objection, I admit, to Aunt being a small aunt. But why aunt, no matter what your size may be, should call her own nephew her uncle? I can't quite doubt. Besides, your name isn't Jack at all, it's Ernest.
It isn't Ernest. It's Jack.
You've always told me it was Ernest. I've introduced you to everyone as Ernest. You answer to me as Ernest. You look as if your name is Ernest. You're the most earnest-looking person I've ever seen in my life. It's perfectly absurd you saying that your name isn't Ernest. It's on your cards. Here's one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, B. for the Alvin. Should keep this proof in case you ever try to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anybody else.
Well, my name is Ernest in town and Jack in the country, and the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that does not account for the fact that your small Aunt Cecily, who lives at Tunbridge Wells, calls you her uncle. Come, old boy, you must better have the whole thing out at once.
My dear Algie, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It is very vulgar to talk like a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
Well, that's what Cecily do. Now go on, tell me the whole thing. I need hardly say I've always suspected you of being confirmed in the secret Bunbury's.
Bunbury's? What on earth do you mean by a Bunbury's?
I'll reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression. Assuming you are trying to inform me why you are Ernest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Here it is. Now produce your explanation, and pray, make it improbable.
My dear fellow, there is nothing improbable about my explanation. In fact, I think it's perfectly ordinary. Old Mr. Thomas Carter, who adopted me when I was a little boy, raised me and made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Carter. Cecily, who addressed me as her uncle for motives of respect that you could not possibly appreciate, lives at my place in the country under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prison.
And where is that place in the country, by the way?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You are not going to be invited. I may tell you candidly that the place is not in Shropshire.
I suspected that, my dear fellow. I've bungled all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Now go on. Why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear Algie, I don't know whether or not you'll be able to understand my real motives. You are hardly serious enough. When one is placed in the position of guardian, one is to adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. It is one's duty to do so. And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to be used very much to either one's health or one's happiness. In order to get into town, I've always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Ernest, who lives in the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear Algie, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely clear and never simple. Modern life is very tedious if it were either, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
That's going to be a tall bad.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. Don't try it. Usually that's people who haven't been at university. They do it so well in the daily papers. What you really are is a Bunbury's. I was quite right in saying you are Bunbury's. You are one of the most advanced Bunbury's I know.
What on earth do you mean by a Bunbury's?
You have invented a very useful younger brother in order that you may be able to come up to town as often as you like. I have invented an invaluable permanent invalid by the name of Bunbury, in order that I may be able to go down to the country whenever I choose. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable to me. If it weren't for Bunbury's extraordinary bad health, for instance, I would be able to dine with you Wilson tonight.
But I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know. You are absurdly careless about sending out invitations. It's very foolish of you.
You had much better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I have the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. In the first place, I dined on Monday. And once you just quite enough to dine with one's own relations. In the second place, she was sitting next to my Farquhar, who always lunches with her own husband across the dinner table. And that is not very pleasant. Indeed, it is not even decent. Besides, now that I know you to be a confirmed Bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunbury. I want to tell you the rules.
I'm not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolyn accepts me, I am going to kill my brother. Indeed, I think we'll kill him in any case. Cecily is a little too much interested in him. It is rather a bore. So I'm going to get rid of Ernest. And I strongly advise you to do the same with your invalid friend, who is the absurd name.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. And if you ever get married, which seems to me extremely problematic, you'll be very happy to nobody. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury is very tedious time.
That is nonsense. If I marry a charming girl like Gwendolyn, and she is the only girl I ever saw in my life that I would marry, I certainly will want to know Bunbury.
Then your wife will. You don't seem to realize, my dear fellow, that in married life, 3 is company, and 2 is none.
That, my dear young friend, is the theory that the corrupt French dramas have compounded for the last 50 years.
Yes, and the happy English Romans proved it in half the time.
For heaven's sake, don't try to be cynical. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
That must be Aunt Augusta. Only relatives or creditors ever bring that Wagnerian man. Now, if I can get you out of the way for 10 minutes, so that you may have an opportunity to propose with Gwendolyn. May I dine with you tonight to close this?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who are not serious about their meals. Shallow.
Lady Bragdon and Miss Fairfax.
Good afternoon, dear Algernon. I hope you're behaving very well.
I am feeling very well, Augusta.
But not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Dear me, you're smart.
I'm not smart. Am I not, Mr. Levy?
You're quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
Oh, I hope I'm not that. It will leave no room for development, and I intend to develop in many directions.
I'm sorry for you were late, Algernon. I felt much obliged to call upon dear Lady Harbury. I hadn't seen her since her poor husband's death. Never seen a woman look so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. And now, I have a cup of tea, and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me.
Certainly, Augusta.
Won't you come sit here for me?
Thanks, Mamma. I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens, Lane! Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There are no cucumbers at the marketplace, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers?
No, sir, not even for ready money.
That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers. Not even for ready money.
It really makes no matter out of him. I had some problems with Lady Harbury, who seems to me to be entirely pleasure now.
I fear her hair has gone quite gold from grief.
It certainly has changed its colour, from what else I, of course, cannot say. Thank you. I've quite the treat for you tonight, Algernon. I've seated you next to Mary Farquhar. She's such a nice woman, and so attentive to her husband. It is delightful to watch them.
I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, that I shall take no pleasure of dining with you tonight after all.
I certainly hope not. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he is accustomed to that.
It is a great bore, and I need hardly say terrible disappointment to me. But the fact is, I've just had a telegram to say that my dear friend Bunbury is very ill again. They seem to think that I should be with him.
It is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, I must say, Alvin, that I think it is high time this Mr. Bunbury made up his mind on whether he is to live
bit morbid. Illness of any kind is hardly to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. I would be much obliged if you would ask this Mr. Bunbury not to have a relapse on Saturday. I rely on you to arrange my music for me. It is my last reception, and one wants something that will encourage conversation, particularly towards the end of the season when everyone has already said what they needed to say, which in most cases is probably not much.
I'll speak to Bunbury after Augusta, if he's still conscious. And I think I can promise you he'll be alright by Saturday. The music, on the other hand, is a great difficulty. You see, if one plays good music, people don't listen. And if one plays bad music, people don't talk. But I'll let the program I'm drawn out. If you'll kindly follow me to the next room for a moment.
Thank you, Algernon. I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few expurgations. French songs I cannot possibly allow. People often seem to think it improper and look shocked, which is worse, or laugh, which is worse. German seems a thoroughly respectable language to me. Gwendolyn, you will accompany me?
Certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Ray, don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Welling. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain that they mean something else. And that makes me so nervous.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
And I would like to be allowed to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
I'm certainly advising to do so. But one has a way of coming back suddenly into a room that I have often had to speak to her about.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I've admired you more than any other hero I have ever met since I met you.
I'm quite well aware of the fact, and I often wish that in public at any rate would be more demonstrative. For me, you've always had an irresistible fascination. From before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Welling, in an age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines, and has reached the provincial pulpits I'm told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Ernest. There's something about that name that inspires absolute confidence. From the moment Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Ernest, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me?
But passionately.
Darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Ernest.
But you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest?
But your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is, but suppose it was something else. Do you mean to say that you couldn't love me then?
It is clearly metaphysical speculation. And like most metaphysical speculations, have very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as we know them.
Personally, darling, to speak quite candidly, I don't much care about the name of Ernest. I don't think it suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It is a divine name. It has a music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Well, really, Gwendolyn, I must say there are lots of other, much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, a charming name.
Jack? No. There's very little music in the name Jack, if any at all. Indeed, it is not real. It produces absolutely no vibrations. I have several Jacks, and they all, without exception, have been more than usually plain. Besides, Jack is a notorious necessity for John, and I pity any woman who is married to a man called John. She'll probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. The only really safe thing is Ernest.
Gwendolyn, I must be christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. There is no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely. You know that I love you. And let me to believe, Mr. Fairfax, that you are not absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you have not proposed to me yet. Nothing has been said at all about marriage. The subject hasn't even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it would be an admirable opportunity. And to spare you any possible disappointment, Mr. Worthing, I think it's only fair to tell you Pardon me. You are nothing of the kind. You are nothing of the kind. You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged, I or your father should be self-committed will inform you of the fact. It is hardly a matter that any young girl should be able to arrange for herself, as the case may be. Now, I have a few questions for Miss Worthy, and while I make these inquiries, Gwendolyn, you will wait for me below in the carriage. Mamma! In the carriage, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, the carriage. Yes, Mamma. May I take a seat, Mr. Worthy?
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I forgot to tell you, Mr. Worthy, that you're not down on my list as eligible young men. I have the same list that the Duchess of Bolton has. We work together. So I'm quite ready to write down your name, should your answer be to really affectionate when it requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit I smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle in London residents. How old are you?
29.
A very great age to be married at. I've always been of opinion that a man should either know everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I'm pleased to hear it. I not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate exotic fruit. Touch it and the bloom is gone. The whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would prove a serious danger to the upper classes and probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What's your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or in investments?
In investments, chiefly.
That is satisfactory.
I have a country house with some land attached to it. About 1,500 acres, I believe. But I don't depend on that for my real income. In fact, as far as I can work out, the poachers are the only people who make anything out of it.
A country house? How many bedrooms are? What one can do later? You have a townhouse, I hope. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolyn should hardly be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I own a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year's Lady Bloxham. Of course, I can get it back whenever I like, at 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham? I do not know her.
Oh, she knows about very little. She's a lady considerably advanced in years.
Nowadays there's no guarantee of respectability of character. What number is Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something. We can soon alter on that.
Do you mean the fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What is your politics?
I'm afraid I really have none. I'm a liberal unionist.
Oh, they counter stories. They dine with us on comedy evenings at any rate. Now, to minor matters. Are your parents living?
I have lost both my parents.
To lose one parent is to whether they can be regarded as a misfortune. To lose two is like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he much of the graduate papers called the Member of Commerce, or did he rise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
Well, I'm afraid I really don't know. The fact is, Lady Bracknell, I had said I had lost both my parents. It would be near the truth to say that my parents seem to have lost me. I don't actually know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
The late Mr. Thomas Carville, a gentleman of a very charitable and kindly disposition, found me and gave me the name of Worthing, because he happened to have a first-class ticket for Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
With this charitable gentleman, first class seaside resort ticket, I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worley, to make an attempt to produce any relations as soon as possible, and to make a definite effort to produce at any rate one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
Well, I don't see how I can possibly manage to do that. I can't release the handbag at any moment. It is in my dressing room at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What is it to do with me? You could hardly expect that Lord Bracknell and myself, as now our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom and form a life of the parcel. Good morning, Mr. Worthing.
Good morning. For goodness sake, don't sing that ghastly tune, Algie. How idiotic you are!
Just go off all right, don't look. You don't even say Gwendolyn refused you. She's always refusing people. I know which way she has. I think it's most ill-natured of her.
Oh, Gwendolyn is as right as the truth. As far as she is concerned, we're engaged. Her mother is perfectly unbearable. Never met such a gorgon. I don't even know what a gorgon is like, but I'm quite sure that Lady Bracknell is one. In any case, she is a monster, without being a myth, which is rather unfair. I beg your pardon, Archie. I suppose I shouldn't talk about your own aunt in that way before you.
My dear fellow relations are simply a tedious pack of people who haven't got the remotest idea about how to live. Not the smallest instinct about when to die.
That is nonsense.
It isn't.
Well, I won't argue about the matter. You always want to argue about things.
This is exactly the things were originally made for.
Upon my word, you don't think there's any chance of Gwendolyn becoming like her mother in about 150 years, do you, Archie?
All women become like their mothers. That's their tragedy. No man does. That's his.
Is that clever?
It's perfectly phrased. And quite as true as any observation modern life should be.
I am sick to death of cleverness. Everybody is clever nowadays. You can't go anywhere but meeting clever people. It is an absolute public nuisance. I wish to goodness we had a few fools left.
We have.
I should extremely like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools? Well, the clever people, of course.
What fools?
By the way, did you tell Gwendolyn the truth about your being earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, the truth isn't quite the sort of thing one blurts out to a nice, sweet, refined girl.
What about your brother? What about the profligate Ernest?
Oh, I shall have got rid of him by the end of the week. I'll say he died in Paris of apoplexy. Lots of people die of apoplexy quite suddenly, don't they?
Yes, but it's hereditary, my dear fellow. It's the sort of thing that runs in the family. You'd much better say it's a weird shit.
You are sure this weird show isn't hereditary, or anything like that?
Of course it isn't.
Very well. My poor brother Ernest is carried off suddenly in Paris by a severe chill. That is ridiculous.
But what about Cecily? Didn't you say she was much interested in your brother? Won't she give us all for a good deal?
Oh, that is quite all right. Cecily is not a silly romantic girl. She has got a capital appetite, goes on long walks, and pays no attention at all to her lessons.
I should very much like to see Cecily.
I will take very good care you never do. She's excessively pretty, and she is only 18.
Have you told Gwendolyn that you have an excessively pretty boy who's only just 18?
Oh, one doesn't blurt these things out to people. It is extremely certain that Cecily and Gwendolyn are going to be extremely great friends. I will bet you anything you like that half an hour after they've met, they will be calling each other sister.
Women only call each other that. They call each other other things first. Now, if we want to get a good table close, we really must go and dress. Do you know it's nearly 7?
Oh, it always is nearly 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I never knew you when you weren't.
What shall we do after dinner? Go to the theater?
Oh no, I loathe listening.
Well, let's go to the club.
Oh no, I hate talking.
Or we might trot down to the Empire Town.
Oh no, I can't stand looking at things. It is so silly.
Well, what shall we do?
Nothing.
It's dreadfully hard work doing nothing. However, not to mind hard work if there's no definite objective of any kind.
Mr.
Algie?
Gwendolyn, darling.
Ernest. We may never be married. From the expression on Mama's face, I feel we never shall. Parents pay any regard to what their children say to them nowadays. The old-fashioned respect for the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I ever had on Mama, I lost at the age of 3. But although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and I may marry someone else, and marry often, nothing that she could possibly do can alter my eternal devotion to you.
Dear Gwendolyn.
The story of a romantic origin, as related to your mom, with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibers of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your town address for the Albany I have. What is your country? What is your address in your country?
The Manor House, Woolton, Hertfordshire.
There is no postal service, I suppose. It might be necessary to do something desperate. That, of course, will require serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily.
My own one.
How long do you remain in town for?
Till Monday.
Good. Algie, you may turn around now.
Thanks, I've turned around already.
And you may also ring the bell.
You let me see you to your carriage, my own darling.
Certainly.
I will see Miss Fairfax out.
Yes, sir.
A glass of sherry, Lane.
Yes, sir.
Lane, tomorrow I am going Bunbury.
Yes, sir.
Should probably not be back till Monday. You can put up my suit, my dress clothes, my smoking jacket, and all the Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
It never is, sir.
Lane, you are a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
There's a sensible, intellectual girl. The only girl I ever cared for in my life. What on earth are you so amused at?
Oh, I'm just a little anxious about Lord Bunbury, that's all.
If you don't take care, your friend Bunbury will get you into a serious scrape someday.
I love scrapes. They're the only thing that's never serious.
Oh, that is nonsense, Algie. You never talk anything but nonsense.
Nobody ever does.
When I did my play, I only had like a little paragraph and another little paragraph. And then had the English accent. Nothing? I didn't have the English accent. What I need is some water. Let me get some water on the thing there. What's that?
as I'm looking, there we go. Bring it up. Bring it up more. There we go. All right, let's stop looking at the lights. Okay, you want to go in the different spots, so let me just check. So, Mars, it's because we're going to black out. I think we just want to right now. Come right forward, let's see. Yeah. Also, these spots are wrong. They are all in the room. No, not the little ones. Yeah. Okay, all right. That's how about someone who's yeah.
Having a
Village should okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna get them in 1 second. All right. Let me look at Justin. Still not super. I don't know. All right, just keep moving so I can just see if you're going in and out of lane. See, brighter there. See, there she is. She's lit. All right, just walk. You're good. Getting dim. Hello. We just moved again. I think Michael's going to come out anyway. Yeah. See, that's good now, but all right, Miles, don't do anything, and let's just have Jocelyn walk from stage left to stage right and just see how we're doing. Yeah, dark, and now you, yeah, it's the center is okay, we have 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
right here. And right here.
So those guys just so, you know, he's like, so he doesn't, a lot of stuff he does, like, so I don't even want to, and yesterday, and,
First floor.
oh my god, yeah, it's so much. It is kind of like I'm really bad. Like I like yeah, I like it. So it's sort of like this other people's stuff. And like the one stuff so many times it's not even fun anymore. But that stuff is like, and then to be able to just like throw it away. No, it's kind of, but
We're good.
yeah, it's okay. You know, whatever. I don't know how much I really do it, but I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know like what that is, but I
Yeah.
so it was fun. So anyway, I saw it, yeah.
You want me to walk along?
Was I seen him? Did I see him?
What?
Yeah, I really
I think right now there's about 35.
is that
Or 40.
after me?
You might be about 40.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird, but I need to post it. everyone in my school. He was being serious. Yeah. So it was nice to see him though. And yeah, I've got to get some, like some kind of support. What are your feet? No, I'm like 7.5. Really? I couldn't wear them for a long time. They were too heavy. Can you put them on? I don't know.
Oh, really good.
Okay, really good. He was already in a good place.
Yeah, yeah, he was top.
He was already at the top when you went there.
Well, he was starting to be like world famous because he had done a lecture tour in America. And it became really popular just for this exact kind of thing.
It was kind of, it wasn't the only one. Like,
What do you mean?
I mean, like, was it getting more and more popular?
No, I mean, there's, of course, a lot of it, but there's a part of Oscarel that's unlike anything else, where it's spotted a mile away. And we read Picture of Dorian Gray together in this class. It's like very similar. I mean, the humor is very similar. No, he's not, because he went to jail later on. He wrote some really dead serious stuff about soul searching when he's in jail.
Are you talking about us?
Yeah.
I went to jail right after. During it was Jesus went on her son after its premiere. It was in Marcus. And I bought a bunch of characters. And
No, I got it. Anyway, you said she was coming.
and it went to jail during that until the show closed early, even though it was like, everybody loved it.
Really, really.
No, she was and yeah, so she needed and so then the public turned but yeah, this didn't close, even though it opened to like great success. Have you ever, what play did you guys do? You did? What role were you in? Yeah. Like you played it and then like really got that role and then really I remember that.
It was kind of surprising.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know why it was the last
It was playing
I talked to her.
Okay.
I haven't been sleeping good for months. I just can't sleep all night. Notice I'm taking showers late, I'm going to bed late, I just can't
Cecily, surely such utilitarian occupation as the watering of flowers is rather Moulton's duty than yours, especially if you are not an intellectual pleasures await you. Your German grammar is on the table. Pray open it at Richardson. We will repeat yesterday's lesson.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. I know perfectly well, but quite plain after my German lesson.
Child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you should improve yourself in every way. You lay particular stress on your German as he is leaving for town yesterday. Indeed, he always lays stress on your German when he is leaving for town.
Dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he is so serious, I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and his gravity of demeanor is especially to be commended in one so comparatively young as he is.
I suppose that is why
He has a higher sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that is why he often was a little bored when we three are together.
Cecily, I'm surprised at you. Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality would be out of place in this conversation. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometime. We might have a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know German and geology and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I'm not in favour of this modern mania for turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so let him reap. You must put away your diary, Cecily. I really don't see why you should keep a diary at all.
I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Remembering, my dear Cecily, is the diary we all keep about with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have happened. I believe that memory is responsible for nearly all the 3-volume novels the Living Library sends us.
Do not speak slightingly of a 3-volume novel, Cecily. I wrote one myself in earlier days.
Did you really, Miss Prism? How wonderfully clever you are. I hope it did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
The good ended happily and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so, but it seems very unfair. And was your novel ever published?
Alas, no. The manuscript unfortunately was abandoned. I use the word in the sense of lost or enslaved. To your work, child, these speculations are profitless.
But I see dear Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chasuble, this is indeed a pleasure.
And how are we this morning? Miss Prism, I trust your word.
Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think it would do her so much good to have a short stroll with you in the park, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I've not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, Miss Prism, I know that. But I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that and not on my German lesson when Merton came.
I hope, Cecily, you're not inattentive.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
This is strange, for if I were fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, I would hang with my I spoke only metaphorically, and metaphor not indeed. Mr. Worthing, I suppose, hasn't returned to town yet?
We do not expect until Monday afternoon.
Ah, yes, he usually likes to spend his Sundays in London. He's not one of those whose sole aim is enjoyment, as by all accounts that unfortunate young man is brother used to be. But I must not disturb taking offers. I'll see you both no doubt at Evensong.
I thank you, Doctor. I will have a stroll with you. I find I have a headache after all, and what can I do with you?
With pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. Might we go as far as the schools and that?
That would be delightful. Cecily, you will read your political economy in my absence. The chapter in the fall will be reread. It is somewhat too sensational. Even these metallic problems have a melodramatic side.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, horrid German.
And Mr. Ernest Worthing is stripped from the station. He's brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, B for the Albany, Uncle Jack's brother. Did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
He seemed very much disappointed. I mentioned that you were Miss Prism in the garden. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment.
Ask Mr. Worthing to come out here. I suppose you'd better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
Yes, miss.
I have never met any really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened. I'm so afraid he will look just like everybody else. He does.
Come on, Cecily, sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I am not little. In fact, I believe I am more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin Cecily. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother. My cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest.
You mustn't think that I'm looking dark, Cecily. I'm not really wicked.
If you are not, then you've certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you've not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Oh, I suppose I've been rather reckless.
I'm glad to hear it.
In fact, now that you mention the subject, I've been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be so proud of that, though I'm sure it was pleasant.
It's much pleasanter being here with you.
I can't understand how you are here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back till Monday afternoon.
That is a great disappointment. For I'm obliged to go by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I'm anxious to miss.
Couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, the appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is for one not to keep a business engagement, if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think you had better wait till Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
Your emigrating. He's gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly will not let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you will require neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on a Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Oh, well, the accounts I received from Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I'm not that. That's why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission, if you don't mind, cousin Cecily.
I'm afraid I've no time this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
It's rather quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
You are looking a little worse.
Well, it's because I'm hungry.
Ah, how thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Why don't you come in?
Thank you. But might I have a buttonhole first? I never have much of an appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
A yellow rose?
No, I still have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like pink rose, cousin Cecily.
I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never said such things to me.
Then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says that all the books are a snare.
They are sad that every sensible man should like to be caught in.
I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I shouldn't know what to talk to him about.
You're too much alone here, Dr. Chasuble. You should get married.
The precept as well as the practice of the primitive church is distinctly against rationalism.
That is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. And you do not seem to realize, dear Doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man
Mr. Worthing, I trust this goblet of wool does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother,
No shame or death and extravagance.
Still leading a life of pleasure.
dead.
Your brother Andrew, dead.
White, dead.
What a lesson by him I trust you will profit by.
Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolences. At least you have the consolation of knowing that you are always the most generous and forgiving your brothers.
Poor Ernest. He had many, many faults, but it is sad, sad blow.
Very sad blow indeed. Were you with him that day?
No, he died abroad in Paris. In fact, I had a telegram from last night from the manager of the Grand Hotel.
What's the cause of death mentioned?
A severe shake, it seems.
As a man sows, so shall he reap.
Charity, Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to drugs. Will the burial take place here?
No, he seems to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? I fear that hardly points to any very serious state of mind at the last. You would no doubt wish me to make some slight allusion to this tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of man can be adapted to almost any occasion, joyful or, in the present case, distressing. I've preached it in harvest celebrations, confirmations, christenings, and on days of feastal and humiliation days.
Ah, that reminds me. You mentioned christenings, Dr. Charlton. I suppose you know how to christen, all right? I mean, of course. You're continually christening, aren't you?
It is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties in this parish. I have spoken to the poorer classes on the subject. They don't seem to know what thrift is.
Is there a particular infant in whom you're interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother, I believe, unmarried, was he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
But it is not for any child, dear doctor. I am very fond of children. No, the fact is, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon, if you have nothing better to do.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you've already been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
Do you have any great doubts on the subject?
I certainly intend to have. Of course, I don't know if the thing would bother you in any way, or do you think I'm a little too old now?
Not at all. The sprinkling can be born, indeed. The immersion of adults. They're perfectly put on in practice.
Immersion?
You need have no apprehension. Sprinkling is all that is necessary, or I think advisable. Our weather is so changeable. At what hour would you want the ceremony to be performed?
Oh, I like to trot round about 5, that suits you.
Perfectly, perfectly. I have two similar ceremonies to perform at the time. A case of twins that has occurred in one of the outlying cottages of your own state. Orgies in Takara and Motaro Kingdom.
Oh, I don't see much fun being christened along with other babies. It would be childish. Would 5:30 do?
Admirably, admirably. Now, dear Mr. Worthing, I must not intrude into this house of sorrow any longer. I only beg you to not be too much bowed down by grief. What seems to us bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
It seems to me a blessing, an extremely obvious kind.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I'm pleased to see you back. But what horrid clothes you've got on. Do go and change them.
Cecily!
My child.
Do look happy, Uncle Jack. You look as if you had a toothache. And I've got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
Who?
Your brother Ernest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
What nonsense! I forgot him.
Oh, don't say that, Uncle Jack. However badly he may have treated you in the past, he is still your brother. You couldn't be so heartless as to disown him. I'll tell him to come out now, and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are very joyful tidings.
To his loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother is in the dining room. What on earth does it all mean? I think it is perfectly absurd. Good heavens!
Brother John!
I've come down from town to tell you that I'm very sorry for the part I played in our unfriendly behaviors, and I intend to lead a better life in the future.
some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, who he goes to visit so often. And surely there must be much good in one who is kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Oh, he's been talking about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he's told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Well, I won't have talking about Bunbury or about anything else. It is enough to drive one perfectly frantic.
Of course, I have little book to follow on my side. However, I find Brother John's coldness surely really painful. I expected a more enthusiastic welcome, especially considering it's the first time I've ever come here.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me?
Never, never, never.
Well, this is the last time she'll ever do it.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see perfect reconciliation? I think we might be these two brothers together.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
You have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
You young scoundrel, Algy! You must get out of this place as soon as possible. I don't allow any Bunbury in here.
I put Mr. Ernest Worthing's things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that was all right.
What?
Mr. Ernest Worthing's luggage, sir. I've unpacked it and put it in the room next to your own.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. Feet toes, a dressing case, 2 hat boxes, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I cannot stay for more than a week this time.
Merriman, order the dog cart at once. Mr. Ernest has been suddenly called back to town.
Yes, sir.
Fearful liar you are, Jack. No one would call back to town at all.
Yes, you have.
Haven't heard anyone call?
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasure in the smallest degree.
I can quite understand that.
Well, Cecily's a darling.
You are not to talk of miscarding like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous in them. It's absurd to be in mourning for a man who's actually staying with you in your house as a guest for an entire week.
You are certainly not staying with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else. You have got to leave by the 4:05 train.
I can't leave you while you're in mourning. I should be most unfriendly if I did. You would stay with me while I was in mourning, I suppose. I should be most unkind if you didn't.
Well, will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes, you're not too long enough. I've never seen anyone take so long to change, and with such little result.
Well, at any rate, that is better than being always overdressed as you are.
By occasionally a little overdressed. I always make up for it by being immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous, your conduct outrage, and your presence to my daughter utterly absurd. However, you have got to catch the 4:05 train, and I hope you have a pleasant journey back to town. This Bunbury, as you call it, has not been a great success for you.
I think it has been a great success. I am in love with Cecily, and that is everything. However, I must speak with her before I go, and make arrangements for another Bunbury. Ah, there she is.
Oh, I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He has gone to order the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
He's going to send me away.
Then have you got to part?
I'm afraid so. It is the most painful parting.
It is always painful to part with people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart is at the door, sir.
It can wait in the room for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
Cecily, I hope I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? I have anything to look at. May I?
Oh no! You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on, I'm quite ready for more. Don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell cough.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think that you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily.
Without consequences, sir.
Tell it to come on next
We could say now.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed to hear you were staying on until next week at the same hour.
I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world except for you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy. Well, of course. We've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
My darling, how did you become engaged?
Well, ever since Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and his prison. And, of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling. And when was our engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last, worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or another, and after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. The next day, I bought this little ring in your name, and here's the little bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear.
Did I make this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you've wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It is the excuse I always give for your leading such a bad life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? I don't speak. Darling, I never wrote any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener.
Oh, do let me read them, Cecily.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote to me after I'd broken off our engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was, on the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why did you break it off? What had I done? I've done nothing at all, Cecily. It has been very much to know that you broke it off, especially when the weather was so charming.
Well, it would have hardly been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
Perfect angel you are, Cecily.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair grows naturally, does it?
Yes, of course, with a
I'm
little
so,
help from others.
I'm so glad.
And you'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily?
I don't think I can break it off now that I've actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling. But it has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest. There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence whose husband is not called Ernest.
But, my dear, do you mean to tell me that you could not love me if my name wasn't Ernest?
But what name would it be?
Oh, any name, like Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
Really, Cicely, I don't see why you should reject the name of Algernon. It's not a bad name. In fact, it is a rather aristocratic name. Half the chaps get to the bankruptcy court called Algernon. But really, Cicely, if my name were Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might admire you, Ernest. I might enjoy your character, but I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cicely, your rector is, I suppose, well versed in all the rites and ceremonials of the church?
Oh yes, Dr. Charles is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
Receive at once from a very important person, very important business.
Oh,
I shouldn't be away for more than half an hour.
considering we've been engaged since February 14th, and that I have only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard that you should leave me for so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal into my diary.
And Miss Fairfax is called Mr. Worthy. I'm very important business, Miss Fairfax.
Isn't Mr. Worthy in his library?
Mr. Worthy went over the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Pray ask the ladies to come out here. Mr. Worthy is sure to give out soon, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax, I suppose one of the many good elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack in his philanthropic work. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think he's so forward with them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew? That's a very sweet name. Something tells me that we're going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we've known each other for such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may not.
With pleasure,
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
if you wish.
And that's all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this may be a favourable opportunity of my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You've never heard of Papa, I suppose?
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I'm glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to be the top sphere of the man. Cecily, Mamma's views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is a part of her system. Sir, do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You are here on short visit, I suppose.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt. A strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honor. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. Do you men of the noblest possible moral character are so extremely susceptible to the physical charms of others? Modern, no less than ancient history, supplies us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
And is that mentioned to me that he had a brother?
I'm sorry to say, they've not been on good terms for a long time.
Ah, that accounts for it. Now that I think of it, I've never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Cecily, you lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? You are quite sure that it's not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, I'm afraid you must be under some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The fact will appear on the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
You are under some strange misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
Well, it is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you care to verify the incident, pray do so. I have a travel about my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I'm sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I should want to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it is more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you! This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
Well, I'm glad to say that I've never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I have the tea here as usual, miss?
Yes, as usual.
Are there any interesting things in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh yes, quite a few. From the top of one of those hills quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town.
Quite a well-kept garden, Mrs. Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
Have you given any flowers in the country?
The flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. If anybody thinks anybody does, the country always bores me to death.
May I offer you some tea?
Thank you. Detestable film. But I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar's not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen at the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar and are asking us to steam with bread and butter and cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature, but I must warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such a manner, as my first impression of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I am trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
A moment. May I ask if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily? Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I knew there must have been some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present round your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
That is Uncle Jack.
Jack? Oh!
Here is Ernest.
My own one.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens! Gwendolyn!
Yes, to heavens, Gwendolyn. I mean, to Gwendolyn.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into the pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cardew. The gentleman who is now accusing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief? Oh! Are you called Algernon?
Cannot deny it.
Oh!
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But my name certainly is John. It has been John for years.
Oh,
A gross deception has been practiced on the both of us.
my poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet, wrong Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister, will you not?
There's just one thing I'd like to be allowed to ask my darling.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to put to you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life I have ever been reduced to such a painful position. And I am quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. However, I will tell you quite frankly that I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I never had a brother, and I certainly have not the smallest intention of ever having one in the future.
No brother at all?
None.
Have you never a brother of any kind?
Never. Not even of any kind.
I'm afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl suddenly to find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come out just there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
This ghastly state of things is what you call wondering, I suppose.
Yes. Perfectly wonderful bunbury it is too. One of those wonderful bunburies I've ever had in my life.
Well,
explanation was that.
Serious fundraise! Good heavens!
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants to have any pleasure in life. I'm pretty serious about thundering. I don't know if you're serious about having the remotest idea about everything you fancy. You have an absolutely trivial nature.
Well, I suppose the only small satisfaction I have in the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite so often as you used to do, dear Algie. And a very good thing, too.
Your brother's off color, isn't he, Jack? You won't be able to just go to London quite as often as your wicked custom was. Not that thing, either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Carter, I must say, you're taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl like that is quite inexcusable, and to say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I can see no possible defense that you're deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I want to be engaged to Gwendolyn, that's all. I love her.
Well, I simply want to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Carter.
I don't see much likelihood of you and Miss Fairfax are being united.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it were my business, I wouldn't speak of it. It's a very vulgar thing to speak one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and then merely dinner parties.
How can you sit there, calmly eating muffins when we're in this horrible trouble? I can't make out. You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter is coming from my cups. I'm sure he's quite calmly. It's the only way to do it.
I say it's perfectly heartless to eat muffins at all, under the circumstances.
When I'm in trouble, eating only consoles me. Indeed, when I'm in great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present, I eat muffins, because I'm unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
Well, that is no reason why you should eat them all in that greedy way.
I should have some tea cake. I don't like tea cake.
Good heavens! I suppose a man made his own muffins in his own garden.
You just said it was perfectly harmless to eat muffins.
I said it's perfectly harmless of you, under the circumstances. That is a very different thing.
That may be, but muffins are the same.
Algie! I wish to goodness you would go.
We've got a pasta left to go. Down some dinner first. I never go without my dinner. Nobody ever does that. Vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I've just made an arrangement with Dr. Charles to be christened at 5:45 under the name of Ernest.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I've made arrangements this morning with Dr. Charles to be christened at 5:30 this afternoon, and I naturally will take the name of Ernest. Gwendolyn would wish it. We can't both be christened Ernest. It's absurd. Besides, I have a perfect right to be christened if I like. There is no evidence at all that I have ever been christened. I should think it extremely probable I never was, and so does Dr. Charles. It is entirely different in your case. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I've not been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That is the important thing.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can stand. If you're not quite sure if you ever have been christened, I think it's rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. Might make you very unwell. You can hardly have forgotten that someone very close to you was nearly carried off this week in Paris by a severe chill.
Yes, but you say yourself that a severe chill was not hereditary.
It used to be, I know, but I dare say, it is not. But I dare say it is now. Science is always making wonderful improvements to things.
Oh, that is nonsense, Algie. You are always talking nonsense.
Jeff, we're at the muffins again. I wish you wouldn't. There are only 2 left. And I told you I'm particularly fond of muffins.
But it's tea cake.
What? You want to be served to your guests?
Algie,
Give them hospitality.
Algernon, I had already told you to go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
I haven't quite finished my tea yet. There's still 1 of them left.
Yeah, but everybody's out there buying it.
No, I'm
What's the point of it?
it started by just making up a friend that's sick and get out of bed and go.
I know. That's what
Oh, I can't. My friend Parker was sick. Just to get out of bed.
I was. That and the kid coming. I was like,
I wonder if we mentioned the third one.
yeah.
That's the dog.
I mean, I couldn't really, like, run or, I couldn't really think.
So,
I think they really
I was never, but I
love that part when he said,
but excuse me.
Sorry.
No, you can't.
he's really good.
When I was, yeah, when I was running over that, I was like, I think I want to be a runner with it. Because it's just like, I wanted to run. Right?
They're great. They're great. Yeah. How they memorize all this stuff. It's like, oh my God. And then with the accent on top of it, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. These guys are improvising. And I got them recording. They are recording. It has to be on. No? I don't know. Maybe because that red light's been beeping the whole 2 hours, so maybe not. I don't know. You could. Bananas. Oh, they gotta come back. My fingers are
The fact that they did not follow us into the house at once, as anyone else would have done, seems to prove to me that they have some sense of shame left.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice it at all.
Can't you cough? Because I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us. What a country.
They're approaching. That's very forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly. It is the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, what explanation has something very particular to ask you? Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I may have an opportunity to meet you, sister.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True, in matters of great importance, style, not sincerity, is a vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation have you got to offer me for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have an opportunity of coming to town as often as possible to see me?
Doubtless, Miss Fairfax.
I have the greatest doubts upon the subject, but I intend to crush them. This is not the moment for German skepticism. The explanation seems to be quite satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to me to have the stamp of truth upon it.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. His voice alone seems to inspire one with absolute credulity.
Then you think we should begin with?
Yes. I mean, no.
True. I've forgotten there are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them the task is not a pleasant one?
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Can you take the time for me?
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That's it all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
My sake, are you prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
To please me, you are willing to face this fearful ordeal.
I am.
How absurd to talk of the equality of the sexes. But questions of self-sacrifice are concerned. Men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
They have moments of physical courage, of which we women know absolutely nothing.
Darling!
Darling.
Lady Bracknell.
Good heavens!
What does this mean? Merely that I'm engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, and physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight by a trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of a small coin. I followed her towards my luggage train. You will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter will cease immediately On this point, indeed on all points, I am firm.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You want nothing of the kind, sir. Now, as regards to Algernon. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
may I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
Oh no. Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is someone else. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
Dead? When did Mr. Bunbury die?
Oh, I killed Bunbury this afternoon. Bunbury died this afternoon.
When did he die of?
Bunbury quite exploded.
Exploded? The victim of some revolutionary outrage.
Aunt Augusta, what I mean to say is Bunbury was found out. His doctors found out that he could not live anymore, so Bunbury died.
Mr. had great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I am glad, however, that in his mind at the last is some definite course of action and acted on a proper medical advice. Now that we have finally gotten rid of this Mr. Bunbury, may I ask, Mr. Worthing, whose hand my nephew Algernon seems to be holding in a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Mrs. Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I'm engaged to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
I do not know whether there is anything peculiarly exciting in the air as part of Hertfordshire, but the amount of engagements that go on seems to be considerably above the proper average that statistics have laid down for our guidance. Mr. Worthing, is Miss Cardew at all connected to any of the larger railway stations in London? I really desire information. Until yesterday, I was not aware that there was any families or persons whose origin was terminus.
Miss Cecily Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, Southwest, Gervais Park, Dorking, Surrey, Sporran, Fifeshire, Scotland.
It is not unsatisfactory. Reading addresses always inspires confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof have I of authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the court guides of the period. They are open to your inspection, Lady Bracknell.
I have known strange errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby, and Markby.
Markby, and Markby. A firm of the highest position in their profession. Indeed, I hear that one of Mr. Markby's is occasioned to be seen at dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
How extremely kind of you, Lady Bracknell. I have also in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, both the German and the English variety.
A life filled with instant. I see. Though maybe somewhat too exciting for a young girl. I myself am not in favor of premature experiences. Gwendolyn, the moment arrives for our departure. We have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, does Miss Cardew at all have any little fortune?
Oh, about £130,000 in bonds. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000. And in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to me the most attractive young lady now that I look at her. Few girls in the present day have any solid qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surfaces. Come, dear. Pretty child. Your dress is sadly simple, and your hair looks a little left it itself. But we can soon alter all that. There's
promise. Nobody will be alone.
Kindly turn round, sweet child. No, the side view is what I want. Yes, quite as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. There are two weak points of society. Its want of principle and its want of profile. The jiggle is high again. Style largely depends on where the chin is worn. It is worn very high, just as present. Algernon,
Yes, Miss.
Miss Carter seems to have many social possibilities in her profile.
Cecily is the dearest, sweetest, loveliest girl in the whole world. I don't care how much about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can get into it do it. Dear child, of course you know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend upon. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. When I was married to Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind, which you could hardly believe that I allowed that to stand in my way. Well, I suppose I must give you my consent now.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me now.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
And you may also address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Well, the marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak quite frankly, I am not in favor of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's characters before marriage, which I think is never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Carter's daughter, and she cannot marry by my consent until she comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I must almost say, ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing but looks, everything. What more can one desire?
It pains me very much to have to speak the truth to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew. But I do not approve at all of his moral character. I suspect you of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew, Algernon? Impossible. He attended Oxford.
I fear there could be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London on an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house by means of the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I was been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Pale Jet Roots Cabernet wine. I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only boy. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he is perfectly well aware from the first that I have no brother, that I never had a brother, and that I don't intend to have a brother, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
That is very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, dear. How old are you?
Well, I am really only 18, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
You're perfectly right to make some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman should ever be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18, but admitted to 20s at evening parties. Well, it really makes no matter since you are almost of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So your guardian's consent, I don't think, is a matter of any importance after all.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, But it is only fair to tell you that according to the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cecily Cardew does not come legally of age till she is 35.
Great objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London's society is full of women of the highest birth who have of their own free choice remained 35 for years. Lady Dumpton is an instant point. To my knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she arrived at the age of 40, which was many years ago. So I do not see why our dear Cecily would not be even more attractive at the age you mentioned than at present day.
Algie, could you wait for me till I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively, but I couldn't wait all that time. I hate waiting even 5 minutes for anybody. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, I know, but I do like punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is quite out of the question.
Then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know, Mr. Moncrief.
My dear Mr. Worthing, Miss Carter says positively that she must wait until the age of 35. A remark which I feel bound to say seems to show a somewhat impatient nature. I would beg you to reconsider your decision.
But my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must be aware that what you propose is entirely out of the question.
Their passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not the destiny I propose for Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Come, dear, you've already missed 5, if not 6 trains. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for christening.
The questioning, sir, is that not somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age, the idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you from being baptized. I will not hear such excesses. Lord Bracknell will be highly displeased if you know that this is in which the way you spend your time and money.
Am I to understand then there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that, as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Charles.
I am very grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I've been informed for the last hour and a half. Miss Prism has been waiting for me in Bristol.
Miss Prism? Did I hear you mention Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I'm on my way to join her.
Pray allow me to detain you for a moment. This matter can prove of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect remotely connected with education?
She is the most cultivated of ladies in the very picture of respectability.
Obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
I am a celibate man.
Miss Prism, Lady Bracknell, has been for the last 3 years Miss Carter's esteemed governess and valued companion.
In spite of what I hear her, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She's not.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, Lieutenant. I've been waiting for you there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism? Come here, Prism. Prism, where is that baby? 28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104, Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a preambulator containing a baby of the male sex. You never returned. After the elaborate investigation of the Metropolitan Police, the preambulator was found at midnight in a remote corner of Bayswater, containing a manuscript of a 3-volume novel, containing more than exotic sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded in my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in its perambulator.
where did you deposit the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Webb.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria, the Brighton line.
I must charge my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, wait here.
Not too long. I've waited for you all my life.
Lady Bracknell, what do you think this means?
I dare not even suspect Dr. Chasuble. I need hardly to tell you that the families of large higher positions. Strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered for anything.
Uncle Jack seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian has a very emotional nature.
His voice is extremely unpleasant. It sounds as if he's having an argument, and I dislike arguments of any kind. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
I wish you would still arrive at some conclusion.
Suspense is terrible. I hope it will last.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you answer. The happiness of more than one life depends on it.
It seems to be mine. Yes, here's the injury received through the upsetting of the Gower Street omnibus in young and happy days. Here's the sale of the lining caused by an explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred in Leamington. And here, on the back of my initials, I had forgotten that an extravagant could have been placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm delighted to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
Miss Prism, more is destroyed with you than this handbag. I was the baby you placed in.
You?
Yes, Mother.
Mr. Webb, I am unmarried.
Unmarried? I do not deny that is a serious blow. But after all, who has the right to cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance by but an act of folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Webb, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me who I am?
I'm afraid that the news I have to give to you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Miss Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algernon! I have a brother after all. I always knew I had a brother. I always said I had a brother possessively. How could you ever doubt that I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Algie, you young scoundrel. You'll have to treat me more respect in the future. You never behaved like a brother to me in all of your life.
Not till the day, old boy, I admit. I did my best, but I was out of practice.
My uncle, what are you? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
Good heavens! I had quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
What a noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the question must be cleared up at once. A moment, Aunt Augusta. At the time when Miss Prism left me in the handbag, had I been christened her?
Every luxury that money could buy, including Christian, is now shunned by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That is settled. Now, what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being their eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I cannot at the present moment recall what the general's Christian name was. But I have no doubt he had one. He was eccentric, I admit, but only in later years, and that resulted in the climate, and in marriage, and in digestion, and other things of that kind.
Algie, can't you recollect what your father's Christian name was?
My dear boy, ruin every
These delightful records should have been my constant study. And generals. Valor, Axbone, Madley, what ghastly names they have. Malkby, Mingsley, Moncrief, Lieutenant 1840, Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel, General 1869, Christian names, Ernest John. I always told you, William, my name was Ernest, and well, it is Ernest after all. I mean, it naturally is Ernest.
Yes, I remember now. The general's Christian name is called Ernest. I knew I had a particular reason for disliking the name.
Ernest, my own Ernest. I thought from the first that you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it is painful for a man to fight outside belief that all his life he had been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can, for I feel that you are sure to change.
My own one, Letitia.
Frederick, at last.
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've now realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being